Hey everybody, before we get started, I just want to remind you this episode is brought to you by our patrons like I Think Our Comics, Qua, and Nestor Flores. If you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it would really help us out. Thanks for your support, everybody. Well, I guess that's the intro. Hey everybody,
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to Let's Talk FGO. We're back. We took a week off because there was fucking nothing. Now there's fucking
and
something.
Guess what? There's a fucking lot of something.
Yeah, we swore in the first 30 seconds. Suck it, YouTube.
Oh yeah, we're not supposed to do that.
I don't care. Listen, we got to talk about love today.
It is
Anyway,
scary.
let's introduce ourselves. We are your Chaldea Academy professors. I am Omega. I am the professor of talking too much. With me, as always, is Lucky, professor of yelling and financial stability.
That's not funny.
It was funny to me, but not as funny as the pre-show, which only the patrons could enjoy, where I suddenly joined and shouted and I surprised you.
Yeah, I was going. We're actually recording this a little bit later than we usually do because if you're in the Pacific Northwest, you're knowing it's fucking snowing, and that means I have to go out and get supplies to make sure that if power goes out or something, I have food and stuff to survive. And apparently that's what everyone else was doing too, because it took me 3 fucking hours.
Yeah, that's
only
what
an
happens
hour
when
of
you get a disaster. That's like what happens down here when it's like a hurricane's gonna happen. It's like, okay, well, you better go out and buy bottled water now, because if you wait a couple days, everybody will start trying to buy bottled water and canned food, etc.
Yep. But we're here, and I am not feeling the pits of absolute despair I was like a day ago. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't have a I don't have a segue there, buddy. It's your go. Do the thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the fucking thing. Calm down. I was thinking. I hope everyone is enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka Absolute Despair. And while we here at Studio Omega like to bring you the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EN versions of the game. So anyone not wanting spoilers should just go explode.
Normies explode.
Normies explode. Chocolate is tyranny.
I'm like 99% sure we did that joke last year. But hey, you know how it'd be.
This is you can't see me, but I'm shrugging and like meh. That's my shrugging sound. Meh.
Just look up all your meme shrug images. That's us right now. Someday maybe we'll get webcams. We'll do face cam. Anyway, before we continue on our path, let's go ahead and jump into our check-in with everybody's favorite Kohai, Mesh.
先輩、起きてください。
That's right, everybody. It's time for Wake the Fuck Up, Senpai. I can't actually say that all the time. It's our regular segment for road tips. Sorry. So, well, I'm assuming the one in all caps is Lucky. That's not an actual assumption, I know, because I didn't write it. But I'll go first with this is a simple one, vaguely suggested by our chat, which is basically have goals, be it for saving or for farming. Not everyone has time to clear an event shop or whatever, or know exactly, when you'll want cash for spending, so make sure to budget your time and budget your sync courts, on how to get what you want. It's important to remember in these trying social times of chocolate.
So, we got a second one, because I literally just learned something random. Omega, you know that, in the upper left corner where it says, like, this is where your servant's class, and then gives you all the fucking bonuses of what you do?
Yeah.
Valentines is, particularly trying, because if you have, like, Melty Sweetheart, and you get +3, that means you have, like, it's gonna go through every single one of the bonuses before it swings this thing back. You can tap that to make that go faster.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that!
Whoops. Then that probably should have been a pro tip a while ago. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, no, you totally can. If you tap that icon section where it lets you know your event bonuses or the class order, it'll cycle. And it's just like tapping the loading screen for tooltips.
Yeah. So it's super useful because I'm one of those
Listen,
guys
nobody can remember what goddamn classes beat what classes, and it's only going to get worse from here.
Oh yeah, and so like, all right, so what do I need to bring? And then it's like, and I gotta wait through literally 8 minutes. I'm gonna get +3 chocolate coins for this. I'm like, fuck. It was literally those moments of like, go faster, and it's like, oh, it is going faster. Surprise!
Yeah, my solution so far this event has just been to put my best 3 AoE servants in my front line and just deal with it. It's getting a little rough at points though. I need to feed Fran more EXP, because That'll be way easier. In fact, I think I didn't double check, but I'm assuming because it's classes they're weak to, that means that Berserkers give all coins bonuses?
No, from what I tell, they give Berserker coins, because I tried that trick.
They do self. Shit. Well, that still applies at least for cavalry. Anyway, before we talk more about the details of Valentines, let's go ahead and run through. We're going to throw in our regular achievement topic. So this is much more relevant last week, but it was literally the only thing we had to talk about last week, so we skipped it. Which is both of us jotted down that we beat the challenge quest.
Oh, yeah. I beat it, but I feel like this is important. It took me 202 turns.
Yeah, I didn't note down how many turns it took, but it did not take that long.
Yeah, because if you've been like browsing like the subreddit or the memes in general, people are definitely showing how long it fucking took. I don't think mine was the longest, because I know there was other people who took longer, or they edited shit to make it look longer, because there are definitely some suspect images out there.
There also, I think, were lots of people who just who may have been deliberately stalling, because technically you can just, with certain servants, you can just keep going forever.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, you'll never do it. You won't do damage fast enough to worry about, accidentally running out the clock or whatever.
Yeah. But it took me 200 turns, because I ran with my my good old arts stall team of Jean, Tamamo, and Waver. Except Fergus fucking took out Waver, because apparently Fergus wanted that Shota.
Yeah, Fergus is an asshole.
Fergus is an asshole.
He destroyed my Shakespeare just as I wrapped that up, and I missed him. That made mine took longer. So I had to resort to double Merlin Shelter, which is why it did not take me 202 turns. I'm gonna be honest. Having actually played double Merlin, it's not as much of an autopilot as people try to tell you. Like, you still have to look at when your buffs are gonna expire, when your skills are gonna come back, because you can totally end up with turns where you're holding nothing, and then it's just like, well, these guys are just basically dead weight until they get their NPs back. And so there were some turns where I had to actually choose not to do damage so I could renew, like, Garden of Avalon buffs. But still, if you do it right, you will stack some buffs, and I was just, like, more!
Alright, I didn't write this one down, but technically I got a fuck ton of SRs, and one SR, I got MP3 Jean. Boy howdy. I got Nero. That's new, and I topped off some servants at some SRs at MP5. I didn't write a full list, because I'm gonna go straight into not all the world's evil, but damn close, with Lucky's tale of poor financial choices as usual in absolute despair. So, as everyone like in our Discord and probably in general knows, like, I've been super hyped for MHX Alter. I thought she is super cute. She is my aesthetic. She was the reason why I didn't spend anything past the GSSR banner. So I started saving. I had like 20 tickets, like 40 something quartz. I threw it all on there. I didn't get anything. I wasn't too upset about that. I was like, oh yeah, that's So, I carefully cultivated what money I had. Started throwing money at it, and I'm not getting MHX Alter. And this is when despair set in, and because basically I started rolling with everyone else, and guess what? People were like, "Oh, I got her! Oh, I got her! Oh, I got her!" I'm like, I want her. And so I started throwing money, and more money, and I maxed out my credit card, and I spent all my tax return. And I spent over 1,600 quartz trying to get her, and I didn't. Guys, I spent over $600. This, it fucking hurts. This has literally been the worst financial decision I have made in the history of this game. And, I was more than a little heartbroken. I literally just only started playing, like, any gacha game, today. I didn't play Grand Blue. I didn't play Grand Blue Fantasy. I didn't play Girls Frontline. I didn't play Azure Lane. I definitely didn't play FGO. I literally all I did yesterday was sit in bed and play a text-based web game because I did not want to think. Ugh. And literally the only thing that got me out of this despair is the fact that I had to start cleaning up my fucking servants and craft essences, and I took a peek at all the chocolates, and I saw all the chocolates and gifts I can get. I'm all like, I want these. These make me happy. I want these .pngs from PNG servants with their fucking scripts, because god damn it, like, this is the most affection I'm gonna get out of anybody for a while. And I started trudging through it. I'm like I guess you'd say I'm behind. But god damn.
I mean, it's a 2-week event. Everybody's a little behind. Like, I haven't been doing major farming because I have well, we'll talk more about this on WhatsApp, but I've been continuing my Kingdom Hearts fight. I'm 99% of the way done. I just have to watch one more set of cutscenes and I can actually play Kingdom Hearts 3. But goddamn. There's a lot to work with.
Also, again, fucking this game's safety net. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, you did a lot of rolling on the banner and didn't get a lot of much anything.
I'm gonna keep harping on this. If they had the fucking the idea I keep espousing of buying blank tank graphs for fucking 3 rare prisms, I could have bought MHX Alter. Like, I literally could have.
And they would have still made $600 because...
And they still would have made $600 fucking dollars.
Yeah. Well, maybe not exactly, but they still would have made a decent chunk of money in a single sitting from you.
Yeah, just me by myself. And I would be happy. Like, I'd be, like, a little, like, upset, like, god damn it, I had to spend all this money. But you know what?
No, it would help. And I don't... Everybody says, it'll kill their business. I don't think so, because, like... Lucky still spent all that money, and he would have turned it into the servant on this banner. And, hey, guess what? As we talked about in Wanted, which did in fact come out, that was a little bit of a shocker to me. We've had a very busy video production schedule this week, which was all me. But she only comes back once in 2 years. Literally, there's a rerun of her banner next year, which is the exact same time as Semiramis, which isn't great for Lucky. I'll be fine. I'm okay.
I went so fucking hard.
I have. I'll wait 2 more. I'll wait an extra year for the next Big Titty Goth GF.
Ooh.
But yeah, no, like that's the only MHXA rate up in the future at all. So,
like, I'm probably gonna have to roll Berserker on the next GSSR because I think she's in.
The next one isn't. The next one is just a rando pool, but I don't know if she's in it. There are definitely future ones where she's in it that are Berserker flavored.
Yeah. I know there's, like, at least 2. I think she's in both the anniversary raid-ups, I think.
I will check, because I got the wiki open. Let me look up. This will be 2nd anniversary, which I can never spell.
Because right now, Berserker, because I still need Coup Alter, and now I need MHX Alter.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's about the stream.
So, Berserker is looking good.
Let's see. So, First, where are we? Lucky Bag campaign. Is she in that pool? Yes, okay. So, technically, you have a 1 in, like, these are all rows of 6. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rows by 6, with 3 in the end. So, what's 8 by 6 plus 3? So, you have a 1 in 51 chance of her on the next one in general. But, honestly, depending on who you have, that's a pretty great slice. Like, Dantes is in there. Amkus is in there. Both Melt and Kiara are in there. Regular MHX is in there. Like, there's a lot of servants you have, but there's also a lot you don't have, so it's a fairly mixed bag. This, by the way, just speaking, hey, Aniplex USA, FGO USA, if you're listening, if you can hear us, this would be a great time to introduce the half-price GSSR feature if you can swing that with your Japanese overlords, because this is kind of a shitty pool. Just saying. Like, for me, it's fine. Whatever. Okay. Like, I'll for Musashi or Void or lots and lots of other people in here. Oz is in here. Drake, Cleopatra, MHXA, First Hassan. Lots of great people. I'll take my chance at, like, an NP2 Jean or an NP2 Altera or Mordred or something. I'll swing those dice. NP4 Tamamo. That will just, fuel my rage. I'll live with that chance for some of these choices. But hey, if you would drop that down to, like, half price, that'd be great. By the way, to speak for rolling for MHXA, I did feel the bite to roll. Because I spent like 20 tickets on Da Vinci and didn't get anything other than Demonic Bodhisattva. I didn't really feel bad about that, but I didn't feel great either. You know how it is, right? Like, you just... There are times when you just have a neutral rolling experience. So I did a 10 pull and I threw like 5 tickets. I didn't get much out of it. I got a couple of the 4-star CEs, which is okay. But I also know that I didn't have enough courts to invest, so it's not like whatever. I am a little annoyed. We'll skip ahead to the trial quest. I'm a little annoyed that there was like a 3-level to MHX's trial quest, and I did not get a ticket out of it. FGO. I am disappointed. That ticket could have been magic.
Voice
Fuck
showed
you
up
very
and
much.
has said, so look, you went on Impulse. I'm going to take breaks between rolling for MHXA. No, because as I said, I had the burning desire immediately.
You revenge rolled.
Yeah, I vengeance rolled.
Which is bad.
Which is bad. It's super fucking bad.
Also, I mean...
honestly, what
I
I gotta do is I can't look at the chat, like, when I start rolling.
No, because then you'll get pissed off on other people. I mean, like, honestly, as much as I love that our community gets together and talks about it sometimes, and they motivated me to roll for Merlin, and that's why I have a Merlin now in 110 pull. But at the same time, ooh, man, peer pressure is hell of a drug.
It is a hell of a drug. Like, honestly, if I hadn't looked at the chat, I probably would have rolled a couple times, like, more, but I wouldn't have, like,
and you could have stopped, and, like, maybe before the event was over, you could have budgeted out some more courts.
Yeah, no, but because I'm looking at people like, oh, check it out, I got her, and, like, people are pulling out, like, multiple SSRs and shit, I'm just all like no!
Yeah, that was, you're very much reminding me of my experiences trying to roll for Musashi, which, I'll say it, it's been about a month. I bought an $80 pack for the $80 pack for the first time in my life, and I still didn't get her, so that sucked.
Yeah, Voice is talking on our mod channel because
I'm glad Voice has learned, because I was going to say this earlier when he was talking, that one of probably other than just his first Who to Save For video, my clearest impression of Voice is his Bryn stream, where he was like, Voice shouldn't throw any shade about Despair, and I don't think he is, but he definitely shouldn't, because I remember the Despair Voice rolling in Despair. And how he kept going.
Hey. We peer pressured him to rolling for Abby, and he
Well, I mean, I don't know if we peer pressured him, but it was just, we
told him, we're like, hey, roll more, and he was like, okay.
Well, true. Okay, I guess we did, because we were like, we made a joke about how much quartz he was going to spend, or we miscalculated how much he said he was going to spend, and then he came back and he was like, yeah, that's right, it was more of a bet, because we said how much he would have spent on the show, and then it was like, then he told us the actual number, and he was like, it was like 1 10 pull short, and I was like, Voice, can you make like 1 more 10 pull so this episode that's not out yet isn't wrong? And he was like, sure, and it worked. But yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess, I don't know. Would you say that betting, it's kind of its pressure in its own way?
Yeah, a bet is totally a pressure, but that's like, I don't know. It's a different element besides just, oh, look how much fun everybody is having rolling this SSR compared to, like, we didn't necessarily care about the result, whether or not he rolled Abby. It was more just like, we said something dumb on the show, and it was like, hey, this will be really funny if you spend like 30 more quartz on this. I know you're sad and despaired now, but if you do just a little bit more, maybe it'll be funny. And then it was pseudo funny. It worked out. Yeah. But yeah, so that's Despair.
I drink too much energy drink. Oh god. Oh, speaking about this, I rolled so many fucking CEs. I have 2 max limit breaks of the 5-star, and enough of the max limit breaks of the 4-star that I could quit my entire fucking support line. If y'all want some fucking coins, go check out my shit.
Yeah, do it.
I did put, and if you just want all coins, my Maxicent Smash has fucking Melty Sweetheart, maximum break Melty Sweetheart on her, because that's how I roll. I'm actually thinking about spending the 5, because guess what? I got plenty of fucking rare prisms now, and I'm just gonna go buy another one from the event shop, because it's in the event shop.
Yes, that's, why don't we just go ahead and roll into Skelegrams, because we're gonna start talking about the event.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Hey, in case you've been living under a rock, it's time for, Revival Chocolate Ladies Commotion Valentines 2018, expanded. So this is a revival that is expanded. That's running from February 6th to February 20th. Hey, it'll actually interface with Valentine's this year.
Booyah!
FGO USA found a fucking calendar. So we got a rerun of the first Valentine's event, but with a twist. So first off, you can now both get and give chocolates. You will receive new and old chocolate CEs from girls and new Valentine CEs from boys. I think I like the way they phrase this better, that it's a Valentine's gift rather than like a return gift or something, because most of the American audience probably isn't going to get necessarily the weird gender focus of Valentine's to Japan. Where, in case you forgot, because we reminded you about this a year ago, that in Japan, traditionally, on the day of Valentine's, the girl gives chocolates to boys either out of obligation or because she likes them, and then later on White Day, boys return the favor.
Again, personally, I like it.
Where was I? So new event item chocolate mold is available. Using it before the quest will ensure that only the class of the mold appears in the quest. Somebody in one of the comments for my news video was like, it's not a guarantee, it's only like plus 100%. I don't know, that's not how it's phrased in the game. So, it says only that class will appear. I haven't used one yet, but it seemed pretty guaranteed because there's no rate-up system this year. Some articles are saying there was, but no, there's not actually a rotating rate-up of who's more frequent. It's you use the molds instead, and you get some from doing some of the event quests, and also you'll get them daily until the event ends. And after the event, if you have excess molds, you can sell them for QP, because I know everybody loves that sweet QP.
QP!
So the new event shop CEs, Sweet Crystal and Fondant Chocolat, will give you increased coin drops of all classes. Swag. Banner CEs, okay, so I wrote this new and old, but I think it's just new will improve the drops of the class weak to the equipped servant. Old ones still improve your class. I don't know why they couldn't fix that, but that's how it be. This still means that, hey, guess what? All slots are best on this, so extra classes. And equipping Valentine's or chocolate CEs will increase the drop rate of the classes they are equipped to. It does not have to be that specific servant. It's just very weird if you don't equip a servant's Valentine's or chocolate to them. Event currency, baking chocolate can be used to buy event CEs. You need a fuck ton of baking chocolate to buy CEs, though. I only just looked at it the other day. I'm like, shit, you need like 500 per copy. You can buy a crystallized lore. You can buy EXPs and foes. You can buy MP and QP. You can buy choco coins of all kinds. You can buy Saber Rider, Caster, Berserker statues, both silver and gold. You can buy scales, gallstones. Yes! Lenigos, grease, night metals, gears, and dragon fangs. The SSRCE Melty Sweetheart will be available from the Rare Prism shop on starting on 2/7. I don't know when this goes away, if ever, but it's there. That's the special event CE from last year. There's new ones, obviously, in the store. So, main quests and free quests should be all the same. Go back in time and check out Let's Talk FGO number 21 for the pregame. That's right, number 21. And, boy howdy. So, you thought last year was bad. Let's talk about Valentine's banners this year. So,
oh boy.
Okay, there's 3 banners. Alright, 3 banners. There's Ladies 1, Ladies 2, and Eligible Gentlemen. MHXA is on rate up all the time on Ladies 1 and 2. Ladies 1 will feature a rolling rate up with Artoria, Jean, Tammo, Jack, Nightingale, and Sanzo, but also has a few days of MHXA solo. You know, the usual, like, at the front and at the back. Most of the time, it also features the new Ladies banner CEs, but one day, I belonged. It's been a while since we did that. But one day, my finger gesticulated wildly in the air, that's why it belonged. One day will be the first Valentine CEs, in case you missed those. One of them is a redrop CE. I already have plenty of copies of that, but if you need to go back in time and get that. Ladies 2 is never solo. It will also have a rolling rate up with Altera, Orion, Drake, Mordred, Maeve, Artoria Lancer, and Ketz. And then Gentleman features its own CE pool, which does not have a daily rate up, but does have only certain male SSRs in it, including Tesla, Arjuna, Karna, Enkidu, Ozymandias, Waver, Elmeloy 2, Vlad 3, and Ku-Alter and Tesla are of course available, even if you have not completed the story chapters required for that.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a big fucking mess. And so that's the news outline. We'll probably talk more about some thoughts later, but boy howdy. I did want to say though that this is kind of like a free talk in the event, but it's actually, that reminds me. Do I have another CE I can equip? Yeah, I do. Okay. Let me just equip that real quick. Update my support setup. So, I don't know if anybody's looked at my support setup during this, but it's my mic arm creaking as I push it a little closer to me. That's weird. But it's a very slightly special setup to me this time. I did not do my usual thing and equip an event. I have a third support slot that I don't use, but I cycled it over. That support slot is titled Harem. And that's what I'm using. I have equipped them with chocolate CEs. You will notice if you open this up that the caster slot is blank, because I don't have any lady casters I can waifu. I just don't own them. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's that. That's the setup I'm going with for my Valentine's events, and I will cycle it back afterward. But they've got all the appropriate various CEs that are fun. So Lucky, do you want to talk about JP's Valentines, which is also going on literally at the exact same time?
Oh man, yeah, I'll talk about it. So over in JP, we got Valentine's 2019, voice and letter, Kokus. Oh my god,
you don't have to read it if you don't want to.
Yeah, I can say this. Kokuso no Sho, Murasaki and the Seven Curse book, running from February 6th to February 20th. First off, new improvement, fully voiced Valentine scenes. Oh my god, holy shit.
Yeah.
So
there's one for Summer Fran sitting in our Let's Talk FGO chat, but I can't watch it because that would play the sound probably at a weird volume in the middle of this episode.
Yeah. Immediate comment is just in case you were thinking, gee, it'd be nice to die today. Because Fran, absolute sweetheart. Absolute sweetheart. Yeah, all these count as new scenes in the My Room, so the voices are not added to the scenes you got previous year, so literally, you'll have to start all the fuck over.
Yes. Now, technically, it says this. You can and should hold on to the chocolates, because while you won't get a new copy if you do it again, you can still get the scene even if you have the previous chocolate, because it's a brand new scene. You just won't get 2 copies of the chocolate CEs. And remember, if you burn or spend chocolate CEs, you are a monster. That is our official position. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Luckily, while the event is different, the system is similar to last year's Valentine's, where you will gather poetry points to buy 2 kinds of chocolates. Lock on Choco, which gives you a specific servant's CE, and Surprise Choco, which gives you a random one. The event is timed, with the main quest releasing over a period of 7 days. And in addition to the points and a points ladder, it seems, there is also a store and events drops as usual. Equip the event drop CE, Beautiful Dreamer, to boost point drops, while equipping Gacha CEs will increase currency drops. There is new essential material released in this event, available in the shop, the Kumo. The event shop also includes Lunagos, Pages, Scarabs, Grease, Night Metal, Stingers, Spinal Fluid, Gunpowder, Caster, Assassin, Berserker statues, QE, Code Removers, and Unlockers, Foes, and EXPs. The banner rotation is the usual Valentine's clusterfuck, with new SSR Caster Murasaki Shikibu, and the new CEs Bittersweet, Valkyrie Styles, and Memory of Qualia.
The CEs are all amazing.
Oh my god, can we talk about fucking Valkyrie Style right now?
Yes, we can. We can talk about all of them. So, Bittersweet is a double Rindos because they found a way to include both sides of Rin in one CE by using both Ishtar and Ereshkigal. So, like, Ishtar's in the background being smug and Eresh is in the foreground being embarrassed, and it's great.
It is great. Valkyrie Style is Brandon the Valkyries and dress up, but the reason why this one is particularly special to me is that this is the first CE that Pochi-Iya or Pochi-Goya, depending on what side of Safer Work you're looking for, has done FGO art. It's her first one, and I'm like yes, because I'm sorry, I love Pochi's work. It's like I just love her work. So seeing her finally get an FGO slot is amazing. It's also kind of amazing because we're going to talk about Lady Murasaki later, but she literally drew a picture of Lady Murasaki and then got a bunch of 2,000 yen bills as her catalyst and fucking got her, and I thought that was fucking amazing.
Nice.
Because, by
the way, we'll talk more about details about Murasaki later, but I think it's been a little while since we Well, actually, I don't know. I guess usually new servants, especially if they're ladies, usually blow up pretty good. But I feel like there was not necessarily a super huge flood of Benny Enma art right away. Like, it took a while for people to warm up to her. Bradamante did actually get a decent explosion of art.
Mhm.
But it was, that was, I think, the last time, probably because it was a Raita design, but Murasaki, like, immediately exploded. Like, right away.
Like,
Literally, first day, I had to make a new fan art folder, which is titled Scribbles, by the way. Someday I'll take a, actually, I could do it right now. I'll take a screenshot of my FGO image folder so everybody can look at the dumb names. Because I have a cleverness reflex and have to make dumb jokes. That loud banging
this
sound,
is
by the way,
literally
was
the
my
power
chair
of
falling apart.
Raita. This is the power of Raita in fucking full swing, because this is, as I said, Lady Murasaki was designed by Raita. This makes her his 8th servant done for FGO. It's got some swinging fucking power there. Well, let's see, where was I?
Banners.
Oh yeah, so basically also new command codes in this event. Murasaki has 100% bonus damage, and plus 50% bond points during this event. You just gotta clear for Yuki to participate.
Yeah, so that's, the usual great stuff.
Huge.
And hold on, I had to post my
All right,
image there,
so
I wasn't talking so much.
So, a little bit also news. The FGO Orchestra OST is out. You can. It is good shit.
I said, I believe, when it was, because in my notes it says I have the link there, and I'm going to need to remember to figure out what time code this is, because we'll edit it down. We're at about 30 minutes-ish, so I'll probably set it at the video at 35 or something. So if you're looking for it, I'll make it a card, because it's a YouTube video, and I can do that. I'll post the link to the full OST. I said when it first came out and it was posted on Discord I believe this is what the kids these days call fire, because it is.
The last 2 tracks especially.
Oh yeah, no, those are phenomenal. We can say what it is. One of them's a Goddess Ringamniad mix in orchestral with the full fucking orchestra and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They've got, I don't know how, but apparently a chamber organ is part of an orchestral accompaniment.
Hey. As long as there's a fuck ton of people, you can call anything an orchestra.
So, it was a pretty big deal. Alright, hold on, I gotta post this. Yeah. I'm gonna delete this image and post it again, because I accidentally had a tooltip, or whatever you want to call it. So yes, if you were in our Patreon chat right now, you could check out the names of my funny names for all my image folders for fan art.
First on Patreon, see our in subjects.
Yeah. Okay. And so I will make sure to link that in the description and hopefully a time code in the video, so if you're not looking at the description, you can just click it and jump to it. Because it's great. It's super great.
I'm going to post my support tab so people can actually see that, yes, that I have all Max Limit Breaks Valentine's AEs right now.
That is a lot of little Ilya faces with stars.
Yep.
X, no, you can never collect too much art, because you never know when somebody will like, hey, I'm blah, blah, this character, I never have enough art. And then I'm like, what's that? You want me to explode violently into art dump with loads of art? I'm there. I got your back, buddy.
We are ready.
I'm always ready to fire in. Because, honestly, you never know when you're going to need some art.
Nope. Let's move straight into Child Day Free Talk with the Valentines rerun and MHX Alter Trial Quest thoughts. I'm gonna tell you right now, I haven't done the fucking trial quest because I'm still too heartbroken.
Ooh. Yeah, it's gotta be rough because it's adorable, but it's fucking amazing. First of all, the foreshadowing. Not only does MHX appear and beg for her Saber Wars Part 2, but also Nameless Red is name dropped. He does not appear, but yeah, there's that, and there's been some other references, so goddamn, give him a fucking sequel to Saber Wars, guys. I know I have to wait 2 years already. Just do it now. For love of God. But also, yeah, it's just, it's not just Star Wars jokes, it's full of other jokey references too, like, just in general, all kinds of cheesy sci-fi references, but MHX and MHXA, first of all, MHXA is the last of her kind, and she has a secret power, and she's going to exterminate MHX, but then she gets amnesia, and then they go to school together, and then they get paired up as roommates. And if you didn't know, MHX is a jock and MHXA is a nerd. And it's it's great. It's
that's Zetsubo.
Also,
Zetsubo.
There's a great comparison with it where at various points you are able to look at the characters and think, and you're like, of MHXA, you say, so this one wears leggings, and then MHX appears and you're like, oh, this one wears shorts, and there's some camera angles. It's pretty funny. And lighthearted. And like I said, I'm a little upset that there's no summon ticket at the end, but yeah, it's great. If you need a little pick me up. The event is the event. I mean, some of our favorite dialogue returns, Blackbeard appearing out of nowhere to shout, Normies explode!
Normies explode! Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, Blackbeard has, like, completely lived in my spirits just because of him being so as much as people like to, like, talk down on how kind of creepy he is, I feel like everyone kind of agrees, like, you can be he's kind of that weird friend that everyone has, and they're like...
He's weirdly personable, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, honestly, like, people think about this too hard. Blackbeard's entire MO while alive was to be creepy and terrifying. Hey, what does he do now at FGO? He's creepy and terrifying, but for a modern audience. Like,
yeah.
Would you really bat an eyelash if he appeared with, like, his beard on fire, and carrying flaming skulls or something, throwing dynamite or whatever?
I think we'll be kind of desensitized to that.
If he talks in 4chan memes and talks about licking armpits and stuff, then you still go, ugh, too much, buddy. So, I don't know. Like, I actually really enjoy his characterization in FGO because they found a way to make him funny and entertaining, but also, in a sense, true to his character because he still is really creepy and terrifying. But he's actually creepy and terrifying to you, the player. Which is, that's a very hard sensation to evoke with characters, right? Like, a lot of the times you have to try and evoke that by proxy, but yeah, no, it works.
Like, I haven't got too far into the story because we're only a couple days in, but Spartacus is a MP that hits like a fucking wet noodle. That made me laugh again.
I forgot about that gimmick. When he showed up, I was like, oh, that's right, that's this Spartacus battle. He's going to charge his NP, and then it's going to do fucking nothing.
Black
Any sabotage comes back.
Chocolate is tyranny. Oh my god, like, I forgot, like, again, like, FGO writing during, like, comedic events is fucking on point. It is super on point. Even as during the rerun, this still has me fucking stitches.
Yep. And of course, you get to hang out with Shakes again, which is always a delight.
Like, I'm kind of, like, Blackbeard usually gets his moment as the fucking heel, as the fucking boot, and, like, especially in, like, events, because, he's always getting killed. Or something in some way. Like, I don't know, like, I still don't think there's an event where Blackbeard hasn't been killed in some fashion.
That is kind of his thing, yeah.
Yeah, like, Okeanis is, his actual chapter. Got killed in Saber Wars because he got fucking, beamed to the crotch. Summer, he got sent out to sea on a log. Here, he literally got exploded. Like, Blackbeard is the butt of jokes. And it's kind of great.
Yep. But yeah, so the event is just heartwarming, and honestly, the addition of the molds and stuff, which I haven't used, but that when I want to do hardcore farming for specific coins, that's going to be great. Like, mostly I've just been clearing the
Voice says in
real
quick, Voice says in Oni Land, he gets booted the fuck out, which is, I would say the same as killing him. That's removed.
Perfect. He gets removed, because of course he does. He should not be here.
Oh yeah, and well, he also gets killed in the Prison of Ilia event, but kind of more of a quote-unquote boss character, so die. You do not get to stay in this holy lowly land.
No, you gotta get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason why we did not let you come. But yeah, so the event's just really
Blackbeard's
really
in a lot of events now that I think about it.
He's super popular in Japan. And some of that you might say to, I think the Japanese are slightly more desensitized to their internet humor, because I've talked about this before. The Japanese internet culture is actually way more toxic and sketchy than ours is. Like, I might watch a video on, like, Japanese internet slang, and some of it was like, really, really dumb and small-minded. Like, I think there was, like, some weird, onomatopoeia or portmanteau for, like, somebody looks fat. Like, just they had a lot of nonsense made up words which weren't necessarily making sense, because it was like a try to guess what the slang means video. Mm-hmm. And it was I was like, honestly, watching people try to guess them was more funny than the actual result. But yeah, so like I feel like he's more popular over there because they don't feel like he's an extreme outlier. He's just like, oh, he's just some creepy internet guy. Those exist. Here it's like, oh, we don't talk about our creepy internet guys. We try to ignore them. But yeah, Blackbeard's in a lot of stuff. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm just like doing like first runs and clearing all the quests for like the moles, the golden apples, and stuff. I'll do my hardcore farming later. I mentioned earlier that actually I don't know if I mentioned it on air. I've gotten 1 chocolate so far. I got enough all coins to get Jolters because of course. Her scene was pretty short, but it was hilarious because, and it says in the description, she was convinced to do this by Shakespeare. So why the fuck she listened to that guy, I don't know. But she presents to you a chocolate which has a perfect replica of her face on it. And the idea is that she thinks it's a prank because the chocolate is super delicious, but it's also got her face on it because there's no way you'll want to bite into her face, but also the chocolate is delicious. So you're supposed to have this big moral conundrum. Hey, guess what? You don't. In the scene, you immediately eat the fucking chocolate, and Jolter freaks the fuck out. And she has a great line, which I'm terribly sad nobody was there to jump in and shout freezing for, but she's like, as apparently off, because, you know how you are as the player character, apparently off mic, you're talking and muttering about the chocolate. She's like, what? I'm delicious? Why would you say that? I'm like, And then she runs off in embarrassment. It's great. It's perfect, son. Foolish,
I haven't seen the scene
master,
for it, but
I
one
have
that
given you a chocolate that you cannot eat because it's got my... Oh my god, you're eating my face. What do you say my face is delicious? No. The horror. The horror.
One of the chocolates I am kind of eager to get is Summer and Mary's, because it is a chocolate with the key to their room in it, and I'm all like, I gotta see the scene that leads up to this.
Ooh, also, that's what Fergus's gift is too. Is he gives you alcohol and a room key? I think, like, hey, come back to my place for drinks. I'm like, okay, Fergus.
Like, Uncle Fergus, I like you. I don't like you that much.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's got. Swirl Brock has, he has abs and pecs and scars and stuff. I don't know. He drills things. Apparently, he's good enough that Maeve only needs one of him as opposed to 9 other guys. So, and also, yes, Celtic mythology is super fucking filthy.
Yes, it is.
We've talked before about myths and coup banging with so many ladies. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do chocolates first, and then I'm gonna work through Valentines, just because that's my nature, Like, I appreciate some of these dudes, and there's some on there I want to get. Like, I want to see the scene where Siegfried gives you the dragon cosplay kit. Obviously Bedivere, because he's super great.
I want a lot of these goddamn chocolates. I want all of them. All of them.
But yeah, no, I gotta work through my chocolates first. Luckily, I don't have to do last year's backlog. Though this did remind me of how much progress I've made over a year, because even, like, launch servants, like, Valentine's last year, I didn't have Carmilla, I didn't have Jack, I didn't have, Lancer Alter, who has her super sweet Lance chocolate. That'll be a great scene to see. And, yeah, that'll be really good to start working on, so I'm gonna power through that, when I got some free time. Do we have anything else we want to say about the current Valentine's event? Because otherwise, I want to talk about some of the new CEs that are in Japan.
Go for it.
Okay. Lucky, do you want to pull up this table list that I posted earlier? So you can at least see the thumbnails like I did? Do I need to link it again? Actually, yeah, here, hold on. I got a better link. Let me put this in mod. So I think if you... Let me double check. If you click that should take you to a tab with the chocolates. And so... Oh,
there it is. CEs.
Yeah, CE list. And then scroll down to where it turns red, basically, because they don't have all the entries on this. But you can see the names and the little thumbnails.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, obviously this is the best part of a new Valentine's event, is you get to see what all the girls and the guys too, but at least the girls, what they think of as chocolates. Candy to give back. We've posted some images that our Discord community has been great enough to share. Well, I guess we'll start at the top. Fujino's is great because there's a tiny chocolate bridge. That's super cool. Adelante Altars is also amazing. That's she gives you tiny glowing boar chocolates. Shocking nobody, Scotty's it's called ice candy. I've been joking it's Scotty Sickles. It looks an awful lot like Kingdom Hearts ice cream. But yeah, that's there. That's gonna be a fun scene. I mentioned this to Lucky earlier, but Summer Ibaraki literally gives you cotton candy. Summer Jolters is interesting. Once again, it looks like she's taken like generic heart-shaped candy, which are also, by the way, supposedly like black coffee flavored, so they're supposed to be super bitter. But she's also like broken them up. So as usual, she's being super try-hard. Also, obviously, you have to get a shout-out to Master BB's Master in the Chocolate, which I don't know what the fuck is going on here, but there's a giant BB mouth with way too much detail, and something that says pig on it, and I'm just like, no. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Personally, I think Sakate Hime's is super fucking cute.
Yeah, that's been out before, though. But yeah, a lot of these older ones are adorable.
Yeah.
We don't have her yet, the description on hers is like super. What does it say? Chocolate. She thought actually, this makes sense because the whole point of the Sparrow Inn event is that in order for Osakabe Hime to cook good, she would have to die and be reincarnated. Basically, she tried to come up with a crazy good chocolate and gift. She literally could not. So she got you an ordinary chocolate, which is cracked in a weird way. She tried to write you a letter, but then iced it all out, and then she's like, if you eat this ordinary chocolate as if it's something special, it'll be a special memory. So it's super adorable.
Yeah. I guess like I only really concern myself up like to fucking things I haven't seen.
Yeah. Kinlengyu gives you tiny panda chocolates, which is adorable. Bradamante, by the way, gives you a Hippo-chan, a little chocolate hippogriff, which is similar to, I think, to what Astolfo can give. Because remember that servants who are coded genderless, like Astolfo, and I believe like Enkidu, can both give you chocolate and receive chocolate, so they give gifts, Valentines.
Yep.
Which includes now Emperor Mothman, Shi Hongdi.
Mothman!
We'll talk more about Murasaki in a little bit, but her chocolate looks adorable. It's called Picture Scroll Chocolate, and it looks like it's a little set of Japanese-style pictures on top of chocolates.
It's cute.
Samba Cats gives you a bell, which is actually chocolate, like a ring bell. I really want to read the description on Concert U's description, because it's like a little plate with a little bit of dark like chocolate or cakes or something. Mm-hmm. But the name is translated as Up-to-Date Gifted Confectionery, and I'm like, I really want to know the story behind this one.
We were actually talking about this. Guys, like, the work that goes into fucking Valentine's Day, especially with, like, the art and the CEs and all this, it's gotta be fucking phenomenal.
Actually, that reminds
especially
me,
now that we have fucking...
Because I can't actually see. Yeah, no, these all have different illustrators, too.
Yeah. So they contracted like a fuck ton of artists, a fuck ton of VAs.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did that math off mic too, didn't I? I counted it up. There are about 100 different voice actors, if I counted correctly, for FGO, and there are currently 237 servants. So yeah, it's a big deal.
It's like, considering that these are fully fucking voiced. Excuse me.
Yeah, those are some paychecks, and I'll have to check some out soon. I said that whoever makes a playlist to me is great, so I'll have to look forward to that. So on the dude side, there's some great ones. You've already seen Avike Bronze, which is tiny chocolate golems.
It's super fucking cute.
Salieri is of course super edgy. He gives you a jet black conductor's baton, which glows with the flames of hatred. I posted the thumbnail anyway because I was looking at it, but Achilles gives you a pony, I think. I don't know if it's a literal pony or just a plushie, but it looks adorable. I also need to see the full-size image for what Sieg gives you, because it's called Bedside Fafnir. So, I don't know if that's like an ornament or what, but it's super adorable. Urioma and Oreo team up, so you get Pocket Watch and Frog Chocolate. So you get chocolates, which are frogs, and also a watch. Hey, guess what? You know how Bryn gives you chocolate glasses? Sigurd gives you non-chocolate glasses.
Oh, best one is fucking Red Hair, who gives you Supreme Carrots!
Well, I mean, if you want to be literal best, hey, guess what? On the male side, Emperor Hongdi gives you the elixir of fucking immortality.
It's like, excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, wow. It's just it's a whole thing. Some people have done Okada Izo, who gives you a cotton muffler. He gives you a comfy scarf to go with his comfy scarf. That's super adorable. I probably want to see the scene for Ivan's. It's translated as reading a book with my beloved son, and I'm like, I really didn't want these feels from Giant Iceman.
Is this Papa Ivan now? Are you Papa Ivan?
I think he was always Papa Ivan, but like, it's a little weird because he's still a giant ice mammoth man, and it's like,
I'm like, excuse me, I have like 6 mothers, a lot of fucking sisters here in FGO. Giant fucking Iceman father is okay.
Yeah,
I have like the hugest extended family now. Hugest.
Yeah, it's just like, you don't think about that, and then it's like, But yeah, so that's super fun. Also, Chiron's looks really funny. It's called Primary Grade Conferment, and it looks like a diploma. So there's probably a funny scene in there.
Man, now that I think about it, yeah, like all your servants, it's like, yeah, you got a huge fucking extended family. You have a lot of them that call you wives, some like uncles, aunts, big sisters, little brothers, sister, daughters. Jesus fucking Christ. That's not even how like it feels like, because from player attachment to characters, that's actually from, like character attach, like servants.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. One beautiful thing about the fact that scenes are voiced, somebody commented on this, is you can actually hear how servants talk about you because they actually say the pronouns. Somebody was very surprised to find out that in Kiara's scene, she actually, I believe she calls you Anata-sama, which is like a very a very wifely way of speaking to you.
Yeah, it's literally like calling you my husband or something.
Yeah, I believe that's usually translated as like dear.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's you'll this voice cutscene, you'll learn some things about some people, because I know that in materials that's a big deal, right? Like they actually go make a section to block out. So here's what pronoun this servant uses for themselves. Here's what they talk about the master, etc., etc. So that's cool to actually hear that kind of rewarded in voicing it. So that's super fucking neato.
You have a huge family.
Yeah, you do.
Treat them special.
All right. Well, hey, guess what, Lucky? We've managed to fill up an hour-ish.
Booyah!
So let's round this out by talking for probably another at least 10 minutes, but I'm thinking 30. Let's talk about Murasaki Shikibu. So I wrote my big fat paragraph first, so let's talk about her as a unit. An absolute unit. So she's a limited SSR caster. While that is a robust category, there are 11 SSR casters and 6 of them are limited. She breaks a lot of trends in that regard by being offensive/farming oriented. She's got an AoE NP. She's barely behind Sanzo in attack, though her HP is the weakest for a 5-star caster, so she's a pretty strong contender in terms of raw farming potential with Summer Nero, okay? Like, she got a lot of firepower. Got a lot of firepower, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, she has a slightly unusual deck for a caster with Quick Arts Buster, with 4 hits on all cards. So this means she generates NP robustly and can actually generate stars, though not quite as good as, like, Scotty does, because she's a little more quick-focused, but still, it's a very well-rounded deck. I'm pretty sure they don't give her 3 arts cards, because then she'd be doing some dumb shit. Her passive skills are also only about C rank, so it's a bit soft in terms of buffs. That's like a 7% arts up and like a 7% debuff chance up, so it's not super strong, but what do you expect? Honestly, her magical accomplishments aren't that amazing. It's all her artistic stuff that is. What aren't soft are her skills. So her first skill has been translated a whole shitload of ways. The way I chose to like try and figure it out is like works of a great poet, because they use the term which refers to Japanese and Chinese style poetry, but also it's like the most literal translation would be Japanese poems of a great poet, basically. So I would like to go with a more general works, but we'll see, because I don't want to just throw out a term like style of poetry. But this is one of her best skills. This gives up to a 30% defense down to all enemies, and gives all allies a 30% attack up versus demonic, or I think magical is how it's localized. It's the same cross-section that Rama's NP hits, which is pretty diverse, for 3 turns. So this isn't a lot of servants. You've got the Oni, Tomoe because she's part Oni, and now Consort Yu is added to that because she's secretly a vampire or something. Listen, Nasu's confusing sometimes. But what it is it's a shitload of mobs. Like, hold on, let me pull this up here. Let me pull up the list. So because it can be a little bit confusing. There's 2 traits which are written in Japanese differently, but can be translated as demon versus demonic. The only demon enemies are actual daemons, the big horned dudes with wings, and eyeball enemies. But the demonic, which some people translate as like magical, which I think might be how it's translated into English, which I don't remember. That's a much broader cross-section. So let me double-check the chart. Traits, enemies. Looking stuff up. And let's see. So, beast. Here you are. Demonic. So, this includes all types of skeletons, all types of soul eaters, onis, all kinds of bicorns, crabs, tentacle sea demons, ifrits, all kinds of demon boars, gazers, all lamias, all ghosts, werewolves and jaguars, goblins, and also demons and gazers and stuff, and some mobs that'll come out later. So yeah, it's a huge fucking mob cross-section, alright? So, if you're farming mobs, it's great. So that's a 30% defense down, and then a 30% attack up against those guys. That's a huge damage potential for the whole team for 3 turns. Next up, Witchcraft Poetry is a pretty comprehensive skill. It has an 80% chance to give one enemy NP seal. I think it was last show. It was a very recent show where we talked about how, by the way, NP seal means that the enemy target doesn't gain NP that turn, so it's good regardless of if they're about to fire their NP or they're just charging. So it's useful all the time. It gives her up to a 30% self-NP battery, which is always great. That means you can K-scope her. Or some other CEs. And it also gives her 20% NP damage up for 3 turns. So, that's a great package. That's an enemy NP stopped. Depending on what, Soul Eaters have super annoying NPs, stuff like that. You can be like, no. And then, of course, she can battery into NP damage for 3 turns, which is great because she can actually spam her NP. And then her final skill turns her from a farmer to a support god. It's Diary of Lady Murasaki. This gives your team a whopping up to 1,000 damage cut. Starts at 500, goes to 1,000 for 3 hits for 3 turns. It gives them a 1 chance of debuff immunity for 3 turns, and a 1 chance of buff removal resistance for 3 turns to all allies on a 5-turn cooldown. That's amazing. That is a shitload of damage reduced. And no debuffs, and buff cleanse protection, which has been seriously going up. I know a lot of people complained when Consort Yu came out that, her NP has that really annoying quality of removing all her buffs. There are now a lot of units which will mesh with that and give more debuff immunity if you're trying to farm. If you're farming mixed nodes, where, because Yu is an assassin who's AoE and Murasaki's obviously a caster, you could do some stuff there. Yeah, the only real bitch here is that to get her skills up is you need 10 of the new material, the new mirrors. I think there are only 10 in the store, so you get 1 skill to start with, and then you're gonna have to wait for more events, because there's not a mob that drops it. So, that's a little bullshit, but that's just how good she is.
Yep.
And then there's her NP, which is great for farming annoying boss rounds. It's an AoE arts with a robust hit count, and it gives enemies 1 turn of buff cancel, and then she has a 1.5 multiplier versus demonic enemies again. So, you're blasting soul eaters, skeletons, ghosts, demons, whatever.
Get nuked, son!
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking firepower, alright? The only real downside to her is that she's got perhaps a steep competition in AoE caster blasters with Scheherazade and Anastasia, both of whom are permanent, and are arts AoEs. So Scheherazade has 2 rank ups. She's got an NP interlude and a skill rank up. She's got a shitload more HP, so she's much more tank focused. And when she's hitting her trait will hit harder, but her trait is king, so that's almost entirely servants as opposed to Murasaki, who's almost entirely mobs. Anastasia is a much more general caster. She's got team defense down, and she's got like team attack buffs, but also she's got like a 50% NP battery and stuff. So, if you already have one of them and you're not interested in Murasaki for character reasons, you don't necessarily need her. It's just a thing to think about. That said, because she also has an S name, nothing stops you from running SS or SSSS teams. Just saying. If you throw Scheherazade in there, that's some of that real SS. Also, by the way, her character description. Go ahead. What were you saying, Lucky? I'm sure it was funny.
I was about to say I'm in it for all the Raita reasons.
Yeah, no, that was way better. Because I was just saying that her profile's super interesting. I should actually double check if her lines are translated, but her profile's super cool because it talks about not only like historical stuff, but like it explains a lot of her skills. It explains her NP, which is basically she recites a poem from the Tale of Genji, which is it's a death poem, so it's so sad it literally kills people. A lot of people are also, I think people are more caught up than they need to be that she draws the pentagram, which is the seal of Wuxing, but because of Abe no Seimei, it's so associated with him in the history of Onmyo that it's usually called the crest of Abe no Seimei. Mm-hmm. That said, I don't know how much of a direct relation that is. I know, like obviously he's a character who's in the background with like Tamao and stuff. But that may also just be because, as you can see from her witchcraft skill, she actually studied magical arts, and the way they refer to it is that Murasaki is the kind of writer who, when writing a story about magecraft, would study magecraft, which is why she's a literal caster. Also, her voice is great, and her animations are phenomenal. She does lots of stuff with like random ink and words coming around and making like instrument sounds.
Oh, Megan, we forgot to mention something.
What's up?
Fucking Nightingale got fucking animation.
Oh, that's
updates.
right. Yeah, it's not in the notes. I forgot to put that down there. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah,
because I'm still talking about Murasaki's ones, but I think it's her quick. She summons a pile of books and accidentally stumbles into the enemy. It's adorable. So apparently she's a bit of a klutz when she's not sitting at her writing table. And she has 3 flavors through her ascensions. You can go with your normalish goth level, which is got her umbrella and stuff, and the cool stuff. Then you can go your librarian look with glasses, or you can go actual period dress with the giant multi-layer kimono and fan and stuff. Mm-hmm. And Raita doing his usual work. Though I will say, if people are like, right to proportions, her 3rd ascension, you can't see shit, because that's the nature of the clothing at the time. It's like, neck down is just layers of clothing.
Yeah. Well, Raita's gonna Raita.
Yes.
Like, honestly. He has 8
yeah.
fucking servants in game now.
Yeah, and they all definitely have his stylized elements, even if they're not all stylized in the way that people think of his work as stylized, but like they are. Like there's everybody thinks of Raiko, but your buddy Kintoki, who is his first design, is pretty normal.
Pecs.
Yeah, huge pecs.
Huge pecs.
Moriarty is like super fancy. Like that's like I talked about this before, that Wright is actually a really great detail artist, because you look in the Matt's profile, like there's all these kinds of sketches about like Raiko's different weapons, so Moriarty lets him flex that muscle. Both versions of Shuten Doji have like very specific proportional designs. Also, by the way, I'm looking at Raita. He's got a lot of doubles. The only one of his servants who don't have 2 versions is Moriarty and now Murasaki, so I'm pretty sure that means Christmas, Halloween, Summer, Murasaki at some point.
I need to coat Moriarty and Holmes guns.
Yeah, there was a somebody scanned his art book from C95. It's great. It's short, but it's great.
Oh, it is short, but
it's great for Raita reasons, but also just sometimes he just draws cool dudes doing cool things.
Yeah, it was like he drew Moriarty, Holmes, and I can never fucking name. Sitting down guy.
Yeah, Master of Sitting. He's got a Japanese name that nobody remembers.
Yeah, but just in trench coats being like detectives, being cool. I'm like, this is good shit.
It's Munenori, but it's not Yagyu, it's his dad.
Yeah. Yagyu Jubei win.
Yagyu Munenori. That's right. I don't know, actually. They could probably throw him in there, but he's super famous. But they did their own take on Musashi, so
Well, so like freaking Kojiro, Musashi, and Jubei are usually considered like some of the greatest swordsmen in Japan. So it's like, gimme. There's contention of who was actually the best.
well, that's always a question, but that's a question for a different time. So
Mhm.
Nightingale got an animation update too. And
I haven't actually seen the full thing, but I do know she fucking throws beds.
honestly, so I watched some of the clips. It's not a super impressive one. It's more just her sprite is tightened up. A lot of her like Nurse Fu is the same. Her punching and clawing strikes, they just have like a lot more fluid motion. The thing is that her, as Lucky noted, her extra attack is she picks up a bed, just a steel bed, and just smashes him with it. I think that's her extra anyway. Which, by the way, means that retroactively, I'm going to be super disappointed if she wasn't in the Christmas wrestling events as the Nurse of Steel, because she's coming out of nowhere with the steel bed. Her NP has also got a lot. It's not different so much as it's got a lot more detail in it. Like, a lot more special effects are added and particle effects, and like it looks better.
Angel Nurse actually hits the enemies with the sword now.
Yeah, it actually, like, she swings and it smashes down on the enemy, and then it cuts back to your party, and instead of it just being like, ooh, you glow a little bit and get buffs, it's like there's a huge explosion of light and you get buffs. So just little touches.
Again, this was actually mentioned. We don't understand their fucking animation update schedule, because sometimes it just feels like out of left field. We're gonna just do this one now. Like, okay.
Well, I mean, it's Nightingale, it's Valentines. I don't know.
Her Valentine's chocolate, by the way, is a first aid kit.
Does
How on point?
Does it have medicinal chocolates in it?
It could.
Does it have
I don't know, I
medicinal
haven't
alcohol in it is a better question.
World War I nurse? Or was it... She was World War
No.
I, right?
No,
yeah,
earlier. Crimea.
I can't remember.
Don't worry, I said it even if you didn't hear me. The audience knows.
Okay.
Anyway, so hey, guess what? After my description of Murasaki's gameplay, there's a second bullet point, which I will read to you verbatim. And this bullet point is here so I know when Lucky will gush about Murasaki Shikibu.
Yeah, okay, so I like Japanese history. I really do. It's a lot compacted into a tiny country, okay? And Lady Murasaki is one of those very influential figures, because before Lady Murasaki, Japan didn't technically have a national language of its own. Before Lady Murasaki, because, literary rates, like, only noblemen and government officials knew how to write, and that was particularly the men. Their writing style was a form of abbreviated Chinese. That's what they would use. That was the language of men. For all official documents and whatnot, and reading out loud, that was used. Noble women and ladies in waiting and all that stuff of the Heian period would actually use a different type of language called kana. So, and that was the language of women. It wasn't important. It's what they used to write their poetry and their diaries and whatnot.
This, by
Lady
the way,
Murasaki...
being in the Heian period would be early enough that this is before the idea of, like, ooh, the warrior poet.
Yeah. So... Lady Murasaki had this really crazy advantage, is that she learned the abbreviated Chinese script and was able to write in it, which was fucking scandalous. And she used it in her writing. She basically did what is done today, is she would write in kana, but she would also use a Chinese abbreviation in it. She'd use this in the Tales of Genji, her diary, and her poem works, and they became super fucking popular. They became, like, super fucking popular. And, like, her Tales of Genji became a classical work, like, less than 100 years. Like, which is pretty fucking fast.
Yeah, also, we should mention this is from the 11th century.
Yeah.
So this is one of those cases where this is something that is older than the printing press. This was all handwritten and had to be hand copied.
Mm-hmm. It was a big fucking deal. Lady Murasaki, her second big work, The Diaries of Lady Murasaki, is one of those influential works that let people know how the Heian culture went, because that was one of the big things that noblewomen did, is they kept diaries. And Lady Murasaki kept such a comprehensive fucking diary that, like, people were actually saying, oh, like, this is how the Heian period worked. This is how, like, noblemen worked. This is how they fucking did, like, fuck all because they let the government officials do everything. It's a big fucking work. It was a lot of fucking details. Her third big work is her collection of poems. It's like 108 poems. I can't actually remember the actual exact number off the top of my head.
Oh, that reminds me about another detail from her profile, though. Where they mentioned that her you just mentioned her poems. The reason why she has that anti-demonic skill, is because she studied the work of great Japanese poets, and there are literally anti-demon poets, which are or poems, which are said to scatter Oni to the four winds, and because she is considered in the same caliber as those poets, naturally her poems can make demons and magical creatures fuck off. Which I thought was super entertaining, the idea that all you need to get to do to make Shuten or Ibaraki go away is you need to read them your sick beat poetry.
Yeah, but Lady Murasaki, she went to court pretty quick. She married a dude, got into court, but her husband died pretty fucking quick. I think it was like only a few years they were married, and she never remarried. She stayed a fucking widow.
It's in her profile. I'm gonna dig up her profile translation. By the way, another huge shout out to FGO. For once, they acknowledge that this character, who is a female, and who is super ultra famous even, was married and is a widow and is a mother. Because they said that she had one child.
Yep.
Which I was shocked. I was like, holy shit, JP, you actually mentioned something about a character that people should probably know. But you don't usually. Those are usually the details we skip so that you can do waifuism. But sometimes we make sure to stay true. In this case, because she is actually a widow and a relatively young one, I don't think you got to worry about anything about her dead husband.
Yeah, mouth. Oh, well, that being said, the current, I don't know if it was the current emperor, but the current emperor did try to make a mad attempt to woo and seduce her, to which Murasaki had to refute venomously, constantly. It's actually one of those things that I mentioned in her diary. But
dear diary, today the emperor was handsy.
Yeah. But
honestly, I don't know. You'd have to, like I said, with the period dress, you'd have to get really handsy, because I don't fucking know where anything is in that.
But like during her time as Lady Wade, she taught the upcoming Empress Chinese, and when she became Empress, she started using that shit, and people were like, "What the fuck is going on?" And the Empress was like, "I'm gonna do what I want. I'm Empress. We're gonna start writing this. We're gonna start writing." And this is how started like developing into like hiragana and fucking kanji.
Yeah,
so
this is a major moment of linguistic evolution, basically.
Yeah, so it is. So that's why I'm super excited to actually put Lady Murasaki. I'm just like curious now if they're ever gonna put fucking her. She had a bunch of main rivals, but her main one was Shonogan, who was basically another writer who wrote the God, I can't remember the name of it. It's like the pillow book was basically her big work.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Actually, that's probably very important, because a pillow book is a type of writing, which is basically a portable print of a book, right? So if her work kind of was defining, then yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah. It's like I said, those were like during the Heian, apparently like their rivalry was huge.
That'd be pretty cool. We need more rivalries among servants. Also, I mean, that would be pretty interesting. This is another one of those cases where you can have almost we know that he's in Strange Fake, so he's not in FGO yet, but we know that Alexander Dumas is a servant, but also Edmond Dantes is a servant. That's pretty fucking weird. They could have the eponymous Genji from the Tale of Genji appear as a servant, and that'd be weird.
Well, I mean, technically we have fucking Hans and fucking Nursery Rhyme kind of thing going on.
Yeah, but Ryan is much more strongly inspired by Lewis Carroll.
Yeah, that's true. Lewis Carroll servant. Servant.
I mean, he was a mathematician. In addition to writing several children's stories, he could totally be a caster. And then apparently Helena would be very mad at him because she actually mentions his real name, not his pen name, when you have her and Rhyme together.
By the way, in 2 years, I'm doing the Murasaki. By the way, like I'm nailing that down right fucking now.
Yeah, like I said, I'm like, no, I'm down for this. Like, there's no repeat banner going on. I mean, it's I do like Benny Enma, but goddamn, Murasaki, she writes books. I love books.
Yeah,
I'm well read. Also, her description is great. Let me read some choice quotes. The well-mannered honor student type, well-raised and of good judgment, discreet, loves reading, is methodical and keeps a diary.
Was a quiet and modest woman.
Normally acts as a librarian with composed demeanor, but merrily bursts into poem. And I'm like, this is great. Not only is she a sexy librarian type, but also she's artistic as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, by the way, they mentioned how long her elderly husband died after 2 years. Also, here's a fun fact, which I don't know if you were gonna get to, but I feel like is important to mention now since we're talking about it. We don't actually know her name. Murasaki Shikibu is not her real name.
Nope.
At the time, Heian court ladies were known by their nicknames. She was originally Shikibu, but later became to be known Murasaki after one of her own characters in writing. There is some guesses as to her name, like it's mentioned in her profile that they think her name may have been, was it? Let me check the footnotes. Is it? Yeah, it's highly speculated that her actual name was Fujiwara no Kaoriko. There's some weird vowels in there, but there are also a couple of other ones in there. FGO has gone with Karuko, but there are multiple possibilities because guess what? In the time period, as she was probably born sometime in the 970s AD. We don't know when she was born, by the way. It wasn't jotted down. We also don't know exactly when she died. So this is crazy that she's such an influential aspect of this. This is a cultural touchstone, right? This is a great work. While you were describing it, I was actually reminded of Dante's Inferno because, though he was much later, Dante wrote all of the Divine Comedy actually in Italian, which wasn't done at the time. If you wrote something, you wrote it in classical Latin, which wasn't always accessible to people, but he wrote his works in the Italian of the time. Thus, he created the first properly Italian, work of fiction, basically, which, set a whole kind of revolution of people writing in their native language as opposed to writing in Latin. So this feels like a very similar result where she kind of started borrowing elements to write and kind of set a standard for writing, which would emerge.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah, because as I was saying, it was because the European Chinese was not something that was taught to women at all. As I said, it was the men's language. I think only her and her rival, say Shonagon, knew it, and the way they both used it was vastly different. Murasaki would just sprinkle it in there, be like, yes, it would be good time to use it now. While Lady Shonagon would be like, now all of this shit, all is over, because personality wise, Lady Shonagon was the complete opposite of fucking Murasaki. That's why I kind of want them, because they are literally diametrically opposed. Kind of great. Where Lady Murasaki's quiet, modest, and humble, Shonagon was nah, we're gonna party the fuck up right now. It was good.
Also, they mentioned some of her.
Get on that shit.
I guess they must have been in her diary, but they mentioned what stories she was fond of, which, by the way, is more foreshadowing. It mentions that one of her favorite stories was The Tale of the Bamboo Cutter, Princess Kaguya Wen. This is yet another reference they have made, because Sparrow Inn was full of references to that tale. So I'm like, Listen, FGO's not always subtle.
Nope.
But yeah, so she's just. This is one of those cases where it's not all the time that you get a servant who is universally liked, right? We talked at length. We talked honestly too much about how Bradamante was strangely controversial, despite the fact that her writing-wise, her design was spot on. It hit all the actual notes of her character, and she is not just waifu bait because she's actually super interested in her fated love and wants to meet him again, even though he didn't show up yet.
I ship it.
Which is fair. Honestly, a lot of the times the FGO audience is really good about not NTRing servants, who have actual canonical relationships, at least certain versions of them. So I don't know of anybody. Not that I mind that people draw sexy art of Consort U, but I don't think anybody seriously doesn't try and pair her and her robot horse husband together.
I've seen some interesting art of the pairing together. It makes me laugh. But no, like, honestly, like, as soon as, like,
Oh.
Sigurd came out and Bren was all like, nope, no more longer waifu. I will now support this ship with everything.
Well, that's because their ship is fucking adorable.
Yes, it is.
Sigurd's a boss. He's great. I love that guy. It's terrible that he's a limited single target male saber. What the fuck? The light works. And right before Scotty too. I feel bad for the guy, but no, he's an amazing character, and he actually makes their ship work really well. Also, unlike you and Voice and lots of other people, I knew from day one that I did not want to ship myself with Bryn because she's creepifying and stabby.
I'm okay with creepifying Daddy.
Yeah, I prefer indifferent, emotionally abusive women as opposed to possibly physical gonna stab me. That said, I mean, with Jolter anyway, it's great because I totally would. If she actually handed me the chocolate with her face on it, was like, haha, you will never dare to eat up. And like, girl, I love chocolate. Nom. Nom, nom. And I, if she started to get flustered, I probably would say, oh, your taste delicious. Because it probably did taste delicious. Goddamn, I love chocolate. I love sweets. That's the other reason why this is great for me. But no, yeah. But Murasaki Shikibu is like, boom, here's a character who is original to her actual characterization. So much so that, like we said, it mentions in her profile, I'm looking at the translation right now, she was married to a guy and had one kid, and then her husband died. And then she wrote a story that was 54 volumes long.
Yeah, have we mentioned like how fucking huge the Tale of Genji is?
It's,
oh my god.
It's 54 volumes. I don't know how how huge that was in section. Also, apparently, it's a little racy.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it is hella fucking racy. It was like super popular, super fucking popular with the noblewomen because they were all about it. If you guys don't know, the fucking Heian period was a time I won't say of complete.
All right, your mic blew up a little bit there. Ooh, that's bad. I'm losing connection to the voice server. Hold on, I'm gonna pause the recording. Okay, we're back. We had a brief voice hiccup, but Lucky, you were saying about the Tale of Genji.
The Heian period was
the
Heian period was a time when the government officials basically took care of the country, and the nobles just got to do whatever the fuck they wanted, pretty much. So it was all political drama and art and sexy times and all that crazy stuff. No, Heian period was a racy fucking time. There were harems, there was affairs, art, so much fucking art and poetry and fashion, just explosion. It was like, I believe it's considered the Japanese Renaissance, if I remember correctly. Right. Because unfortunately, like I didn't write notes for this.
No, that's fine. I figured you had stuff to say. And that's okay if you didn't write notes. Hey, Lucky, can you pencil this in your calendar for 2 years that you're gonna do the Wanted on Murasaki Shikibu?
Oh hell yeah!
All right, we'll leave that in.
Said, like Japanese history is, as I said, Japanese history is really like.
No, it's super.
It's cool. A lot of shit happens in a little country. Like holy shit.
Well, honestly, I mean, if you think about it, it's an island nation that tends to breed that kind of thing because once you get there, you don't exactly get on your boat and leave. What are you going to do? Go back to China? Who keeps trying to invade you but is destroyed?
And that's actually interesting. Around this time, I think if I remember correctly, around this time they stopped doing the missions to China. Because that used to be like a thing they would do, is they would send envoys to China, say, hey, everything's still cool? They're like, yeah, we cool. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, at a point, Japan was considered basically a satellite state of China, or a tributary state.
Yeah.
But yeah, though it is important to note that the Heian period would not necessarily look like the Japan you think of. This would be pre-katana. This is before the evolution of the sword that is called the katana. This is, obviously way pre-warring states by several centuries, if I'm doing my math right. So that's always like an interesting to think of that. No, there are actually like multiple distinct periods of history in Japan, which have entirely different feels, which I'm also super excited about. But hey, you can listen to me gush about Legend of the Five Rings multiple times on multiple places in our channel.
I think this is like a century or two before the Genpei Miyamoto War?
Yeah, this would probably be before the Genpei War, and it's definitely before the Mongolian invasions.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, people say like the Mongolian invasions were kind of Chinese. It's only because China got fucking taken over, because the Mongol hordes do not stop, won't stop.
No, the Mongols were very big on the conquest, and
China got ed up.
They took care of several other smaller countries. Like They took in the Koreans, a lot of the different Chinese factions, and tried to get Japan, but it didn't quite work out. They did take some islands, obviously, but yeah, that's right. Kamikaze. The divine. That's where the divine wind comes from. It's because the fleets got smashed by storms.
Both times.
By the way, that is also, I mentioned that earlier, that is actually why Japan switched to the katana design. Their sword design started to evolve because the Tachi style that was popular at the time was not very good at cutting through the boiled leather that the Mongols used as armor and would often break. So they had to basically re-engineer their swords with their shitty iron and work out the optimal folding and reinforcing to make sturdier, more efficient swords.
Yep.
So yeah, anyway. We love history and stuff, and if you want to hear me and or sometimes Lucky talk about fake history, check out our L5R videos and check out future What's Ups. By the way, Lucky, I don't know if I mentioned this. I did a review of Emerald Empire. I assume you haven't picked it up on your own, like you bought the core book, right?
Yeah, I bought the core book.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll pass you my PDF, which has my watermark in it, so please don't share it to anybody else. But I'll pass you the PDF of Emerald Empire because it's like 90% fluff. And I know from this conversation just now, you'd probably love reading that sometime.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
I like history. As I love history in general because history is fucking amazing. But I can only hold so much history knowledge in my fucking head, and I'm just kind of focusing on Japanese history. I said, Lucky does not have the greatest memory.
Oh, so it's adorable. I was just reading her profile and some notes somewhere else. The child she had was a daughter, and her daughter also became a writer. That's adorable.
Mm-hmm. I think we're ready for final thoughts.
Well, there's one pre-final thought, which is that, hey, it's a new month. And since we didn't talk about this last time, it's important to let this know. It's time for a new Patreon poll. Booyah! So if you are our $5 and up patrons, you can vote in our monthly topic poll for Teach Me Omega Sensei. If you are at the 5 and up level, make sure to double check for that. You can find the poll in the BTS, which is the behind the scenes tag. It's featured on the front page of our Patreon. It's really easy to find, so just look for the one that's this month. There's 7 days left, and out of like almost 15 people who can vote, only 4 people have. So hey, exercise your right to vote on topics, because right now it's a dead even. It's 2-2 on what is a person's origin and what are the beasts. So our options this month are those two, and also what is the Mages Association, and what do we know about Grand Servants. So, go ahead and pick and choose them.
I'll probably vote on origins if I have to be the tiebreaker.
Well, you might if nobody votes in like a week. But yes, I know, because you suggested that topic. And of course, if you have suggestions for more exposition-based topics, go ahead and leave those. We always like to take your suggestions, because it really is kind of like a whatchamacallit, it's something we do for you, basically. You ask us what kind of questions you want done, and we go ahead and let people know. So, now I think we can do final thoughts, because it's 9 o'clock at night, and I have to post this audio.
I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Hey, guess what, Lucky? We're at 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Booyah!
I called it.
We had a full show.
And also, I called it. I was so we could do this in like 10 minutes, but I bet we're going to talk for like 30.
Like I said, I didn't really order my thoughts about Lady Murasaki.
No, that's fine, because I wrote a bullet point for that explicit reason. I knew you were excited about her and to talk about her, so I was like, all right, so here's the point in the show where I'm just going to let Lucky go.
And I went. Oh, man. Like, again, I'm always excited to see what FGO brings out, because sometimes shit is literally out of left field.
Yeah, who would have guessed for Valentines? I mean, like we said, there's a lot of boning going on the Tale of Genji, but who would have guessed for Valentines they would not only release Murasaki Shikibu as a servant, but also they would make her the centerpiece of the event, which appears to be something about like a library, and there's a cursed book or something going on. I no details of the story, but I know it's out there. Oh, that does remind me, there's another fun fact about one of her skills. That's my third one. She's got 3 skills, 3 fun facts. Apparently she's a reverse Hans in that she can use her magic to turn digital copy back into hard copy, physical books, as opposed to Hans, who is like, I gotta keep up with the times. Apparently she likes the physical stuff, which is also cool.
I can't fault her for that. Like I got Dead Tree books. I like Dead Tree.
Hey, Dead Tree's fun. But yeah, alright, so final thoughts.
Oh, man. Well, for now, like, as I said, like, I'm probably gonna throw whatever quartz I can at the fucking banner and, pray to Gacha Megami maybe that she'll, like, bless me with just a random pool of MHA Altar. I can't spend any more money. I literally cannot spend any more money. But, because, I've gotten super, like, I always remember I got fucking Skahawk on a ticket pool. So, it is technically possible. Although, the odds are severely not in my favor. It's like, God, FGO safety net, please. But from here on, I'm probably gonna be saving for the CCC event and all the bullshit I'm gonna have to deal with there. Also, I gotta try and come up with some funds again to go to fucking SakuraCon because I want to be your man on the scene there.
Remember, we have a Patreon and we have merch.
Like, for SakuraCon, I literally want to go and print out, like, 10, like, Studio Omega shirts and just be like, hey, do you know me? Here, take a shirt. Booyah. If anyone, like, shows up there. That'd be fun. I want to do that. Give me a t-shirt cannon, too. I'll shoot people with it. I don't know if I could actually do that. That might be, like, some weapons violation. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, let's wait on that. I feel like that's a whole thing. Yeah. We might need permits for that. But yeah.
No, they're not. But fuck, man, literally once this event's over, it's back to saving, and then it's gonna be all for CCC.
I don't know. I have to look at mine because I want to roll some stuff on CCC, but also I do have another opportunity to take a swing at Summer Mordred coming up in there somewhere when we do the summer rerun, and I want to make sure I have a decent chunk of quartz. I feel like I won't be as heartbroken if it doesn't go through this time. Like last time, I was lucky. Hopefully I didn't make too light of you, but your absolute despair was definitely me last summer. That was the me lying alone in my room last night, listening to One Is the Loneliest Number at like midnight and just being like, life is darkness.
But from now on, we are calling this term of going hard and not going on absolute despair.
Yes.
I remember that.
Zetsubo.
I'll make a t-shirt of it eventually.
The t-shirt should be you lying on the floor with, like, squiggly dead man eyes and absolute despair is on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Put that in the notes.
I'm going to add it to the list. I have been working a little bit more on art. I've actually started picking up my thing and doodling. So I'm working on it. As I said, I'm jobless, which is another reason why I am absolute despair, because I really, really, really should not have spent that money.
Well, have you checked your PayPal lately? Because I did. It took a while because Patreon was slow. But
no, that was like that was the first money to go.
That's what I thought, but I didn't want to. No, I did want to assume. I totally assumed. The moment you started talking about it, I was like, well, that's where the Patreon money went.
Yep. Oh my god.
Meanwhile, audience, I have invested your funds in hopefully pre-ordering a copy of Extella Link when it comes out off Amazon. Amazon's being a little weird because it's like, okay, the order's made, but they don't charge you yet, and they say it's not coming out until, like, March. So I'm like, I guess I gotta just make sure I sit on all my money until then.
Yeah, I gotta be careful about that. But, let's see, what else am I thinking about here? Yeah, Extella Link's coming out soon. I'm excited to play that. Heaven's Feel 2's coming out soon, too. I pre-bought my ticket for that shit.
Yeah, you did that when you had money.
Yep. I just gotta figure out a ride there, because, I'll figure out something. Someone can give me a lift. I'll walk. I will fucking walk. No, I won't.
It's too long. It's probably too long to walk, but you'll figure out something.
I'll figure out something, because I'm gonna go see that shit.
Oh, actually, speaking of USA stuff, I forgot to put this in news, but we should mention this. So about the USA FGO tour, FGO USA has regretfully informed us that due to health reasons, Kanoede will not be at the opening event.
Oh no!
This is like full-blown, like, physicians recommended she not travel, so I'm assuming it's somewhat serious. Hopefully not, like, anything, like, life-threatening, but just, for health reasons, she can't travel to the U.S. to be at the event. So, I assume everybody in the community will wish her well. In her place, Satoshi Soroka will be staying an extra day, basically, and he will be at those panels instead. Yeah. And hopefully, if she feels better in time, they'll be able to, because I know that when he did the stream, Albert said they hadn't locked in the schedule for the rest of the tour stops. Hopefully she'll be able to come back for a later tour location.
Yeah, people, you gotta remember, going to other countries for, like, for a while, it's kind of fucking stressful.
Yeah, and, you, to cross the Pacific, you gotta be on a plane for, like, 12 hours, which, there are some health states which don't react well to that. because it was weird. The actual FGO Twitter tweeted about it. I know that it was on her official website and stuff, but they did actually tweet an alert about it earlier. Here it is. I will copy it since some people were asking. But yeah, so that's just another little news detail we should probably throw out. Other than that, yeah, no. Fate's still looking good. We'll, keep you apprised. So next week, let's see. Well, our poll will be done. We'll still be in the halfway-ish period of the two events, so probably nothing new on the horizon. Actually, depending on the timing, by the time we record next show, Shinjuku should be out by then. I don't know if they'll have announced it, but with a lot of lead time, but it'll probably be starting around then, so we'll be able to talk maybe about first impressions of that.
Mm-hmm.
In 2 weeks, that is. So that's a couple shows down the line. Maybe they'll have announced it by next week, because at times FGO has been shockingly forward about announcing stuff. Like Valentines was only announced 3 days before-ish, but 5 million downloads was announced way ahead of time, so we'll see if they give us details or not early.
Mm-hmm.
Do look forward to Wanted Moriarty, or I guess I'd phrase that as Wanted Archer of Shinjuku, because his name's not spoiled at first. So I don't know if I'll necessarily put his name in the title.
Sorry, I just saw the most fucking adorable art. Sorry, I gotta post this in our channel.
Also, you retweet.
I'm on Twitter right now.
By the way, that's where most of my the Murasaki art has come from. It's you retweeting stuff. And I'm just like, oh, Lucky retweeted something. I bet I know what it is. But yeah, so the show has gone on plenty long enough. We hope you enjoyed the extra time, because we skipped the show last week because literally none of this stuff we talked about was out then. So they're all hour and 40-ish minutes of this show wouldn't have existed. So we thank you for your patience. As always, I always try to make sure we thank people for their time, because, boy, golly, gee willikers, do we talk a lot.
Yeah, we do.
We'll be talking
you guys
a lot more later. Oh, well, yeah, you were, because I was I was in the middle of something when you got back from your quest for food and, not dying horribly in the snow. I was in the middle of something, and then I had to go grab dinner real quick because it was late, so you probably talked for a good half hour, just sitting in the secret recording chat with some of our patrons, going back and forth.
Yep. It was the pre-show.
The extra pre-show. And yes, remember, if you support us on Patreon, tell us up, you can, listen to the shows live and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Good times.
Yeah, I guess outro then. So, hey, everybody, if you like this video, give it a like. If you have any comments on anything, leave those in the comment section down below. Let us know what was your absolute despair moment. What was that one banner you threw everything at, and you came away an empty, soulless husk of a person, so we can all commiserate together, because, trust me, everybody knows that feel, buddy.
Oh, God. Oh, my God, why you're retweeting MHA Alter? No.
Listen, I retweet lots of stuff.
Zettai Zetsubo.
Hold on, I gotta retweet more stuff. Anyway, yeah. Where was I? Oh, don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And even if you're already new, don't forget that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video. And like it says at the front of the show, and I mentioned just now, consider supporting us on Patreon. For just as little as $1 a month, you can get access to these episodes in audio format early. Usually a day, but sometimes 2, depending on the schedules, because editing and rendering the audio takes way less time than rendering and editing the video, especially since this is long, and getting longer literally every second. That's how time works, guys. So check that out, and also it really helps us out and makes us feel good about ourselves. And we swear most of the time we try to spend it financially responsibly on stuff. But also sometimes, yes, we do spend it on gacha. Because then we get more content out of it. That's our lives. We live in content.
I'm trying to be more financially responsible, I swear.
That's the show, everybody. Stay tuned for what's up in a couple days. I don't know when it's going to come out. I think we're gonna give a day a spacer, because I'm gonna actually have time to play Kingdom Hearts 3 and actually get some thoughts on it. Lucky has some thoughts on it now because he's done with it. We probably won't get into full review times. There's literally only so much I can do in a day, and I have to also farm Valentines and stuff, because those girls need those chocolates. Well, they need chocolate to give me chocolate. I don't fucking know. Whatever.
Chocolates!
Anyway, chocolates. That's the end of the show.